every single week I get different versions of the same question. Hey Pedro, can you help my family decide which place is best for our family, Winter Garden or Lake Nona? We're doing a research, we're kind of on the fence. Can you help us out? And trust me, that question is great. And I'll tell you why. It is great because you're passed through all that social media influence that you get, people trying to hype Lake Nona, Winter Garden, or even other places, right? But you're at a point that you have to make a decision. So that's great. And today, in this video, if you stick to the end, you're gonna know exactly which one is best for you, for your family, based on your school needs, lifestyle, and so on and so forth. And at the end, if you're still on the fence, if you still don't know where you should move next, that's entirely okay. I'm gonna give you 5 questions that you should ask yourself before you make a decision. And before we jump in, if you prefer to have a quick conversation with me, just grab 30 minutes of my time. Link is in the description below. I'll help you find exactly what you need based on your personal needs and make sure you love where you live. My name is Pedro. This is my new YouTube channel. So now let's do this. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. Lake Nona and Winter Garden are both exceptional communities, all right? They're not competing for the same buyer, so keep that in mind. They're built for 2 different versions of the Florida lifestyle, and once you understand that distinction, the choice almost makes itself, okay? We're going to cover 5 categories here. We're going to build a cost of ownership comparison, and I'm going to give you the honest verdict of who each community is and is not for. Okay, so let's go category by category. Category number 1, schools. So let's start with the number 1 reason families move to either one of these communities. Schools, right? Lake Nona falls within Orange County Public Schools, and the schools in the Lake Nona corridor, Narcoossee Community School, Lake Nona High School, Innovation Middle School, are consistently rated an A or B by the Florida Department of Education. Lake Nona High School in particular has grown a strong reputation for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math programming, which fits the medical city and tech professional demographic of that area. Winter Garden is split between Orange County and in the Horizon West corridor, also Orange County, but the feeder schools shift depending on the specific neighborhood. So West Orange High School has historically been one of the strongest high schools in the country. Elementary options like Sunridge Elementary, Bridgewater Middle have strong parent ratings across community followings. The honest comparison here. Both communities offer access to solid A-rated schools, okay? Lake Nona leans STEM forward, Winter Garden leans community rooted with a more established school culture. If a specific school matters to you, you should map the school boundaries before you shop for neighborhoods, not after, all right? I've seen buyers fall in love with the house and then they discover it's in a different school zone than they expected. So do not make that mistake, all right? Category number 2, this is where the 2 communities start to feel really different because we're talking about lifestyle and amenities. And this is usually where the decision gets made emotionally. Lake Nona is curated, it was master planned from scratch, and it shows. If you go and take a walk there, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. You have the USTA National Campus, which is one of the largest tennis facilities in the world. You also have a growing restaurant and entertainment scene around the Lake Nona Town Center. You have the Medical City Corridor. There's a startup energy to Lake Nona, right? It attracts professionals, healthcare workers, remote tech workers, athletes in training, and the vibe is super cool. It's modern, it's active, and it's slightly aspirational. On the other side of this spectrum, Winter Garden is rooted. Downtown Winter Garden has a plant street that feels like a real Florida Main Street, farmers market on Saturdays, local restaurants, West Orange Trail running right through it. Horizon West, which is the newer master plan section west of 429 that adds that modern amenity mix. Resort style pools, parks, walking trails, community events, all that good stuff. But the soul of Winter Garden is the historic downtown. It's a community that's been here forever and it is a character. All right. Who feels at home in Lake Nona are the families relocating for a career move, the healthcare professional, the person who wants everything within a planned, manicured environment. And who feels at home in Winter Garden is that family that wants the small town feel with access to everything that is modern, outdoor lifestyle household, and the family that wants their kid biking to a farmer's market on a Saturday morning. Category number three, both communities have strong new construction pipelines, but they look very different. Lake Nona, for example, when we're talking about new construction, it is concentrated. Most of what's being built right now there is in the Nona North and Lorette Park neighborhoods with a mix of townhomes and then single family homes. Builders that are active in Lake Nona are David Weekly, Toll Brothers, Pulte, Dreamfinders, and so on and so forth. All right. And prices for new construction of a single family home in there start in the low 500s and can push past to 800K or 900K for larger homes in Lorette Park. Now, in Winter Garden, new construction there is more spread out. We have Horizon West in the primary growth corridor, and it is one of the most active new construction markets in the entire Central Florida. Builders there also include Pulte, K-Hov, Dreamfinders, Toll Brothers, Meritage, and so on and so forth. So you find townhomes in Winter Garden starting in the mid 300s and single family homes ranging from the low 400s up to 7, 800K and beyond for those larger lots. The entire price point in Winter Garden is lower, which matters, of course, for families stretching that budget. Lake Nona tends to hold its value extremely well, which matters for buyers thinking about resale. Category number four, commute and location reality. This one is underrated, and it's where I push back on a lot of buyers who fall in love with a community without thinking about where they're actually driving. All right, so Lake Nona, you have to remember, it sits southwest of the metro, east of the airport, and super near to 417 interchange. If you work at Orlando International Airport, the VA Medical Center, the University of Central Florida, or Medical City employers, Lake Nona is super, super convenient for you. Now, if you work in downtown Orlando, you're looking at a 30, 40-minute drive with normal traffic. If you work on the I-4 towards Tampa, Lake Nona puts you on the wrong side of town, all right? So you got to do that research as well. In Winter Garden, it's the opposite. It sits in the west at the convergence of 429 and Turnpike. So if you work in downtown Orlando, you're like 25, 35 minutes away. If you work in the tourism corridor near Disney or I-4, you're in an excellent position. If you work in Lake Nona or towards the east side of the metro, you are driving all the way across the city. And the point is, the best community for your commute depends entirely where you work, all right? So before you fall in love with the neighborhood, run your actual commute during actual rush hours. Both communities have great highway access, but they're on opposite ends of the metro, all right? Category number five, the investment outlook. Both communities have strong long-term fundamentals, right? But for different reasons. Lake Nona's investment case is anchored in this institutional development. Medical City, of course, is going to continue to expand. KPMG's National Training Campus is right there. The infrastructure investment from Tavistock is ongoing and significant. The kind of institutional backing creates durable demand. And for example, Lake Nona home values have appreciated consistently, and the community has been resilient in these market corrections. Winter Garden, on the other hand, the investment case is anchored in its growth trajectory. So the Horizon West corridor is one of the fastest developing areas in Central Florida. Just look it up on Google, you'll see what I'm talking about. You have population growth, infrastructure investments from Orange County, expansion of 429, and consistent demand from families relocating to the area all support continued appreciation. And this is not me talking, it's data, all right? So it's also a more affordable entry point, which means you're buying into a market with room to grow. But both communities are solid. They're excellent investment decisions, but Lake Nona carries more premium pricing, so the upside is more moderate. Winter Garden offers more room for appreciation from a lower base. And here is the snapshot comparison across all 5 categories. All right, you have schools, lifestyle, new construction, best commute, investment outlook, and also we can run real numbers between Lake Nona and Winter Garden, for example. And now let's run the real numbers so I can give you a real perspective and compare apples to apples. If we're talking about a home that has the same square footage in Lake Nona, that home is around $580,000, all right, in Laureate Park, new construction. And let's say we put 20% down at a 6.5% rate and running all the costs, HOA, CDD, property taxes, so on and so forth, the total estimated monthly cost for you will be $4,415. And if we take the same house and put that home in Winter Garden, we're talking about $480,000 for that home. And at the end, the total estimated monthly cost for you is going to be around $1,000 less, okay? But remember, this is just an illustration. This is just for you to know what your money can get in both places, okay? And one more thing before we jump into the next session. If you want these slides, if you want this comparison for yourself, or if you want to have the full comparison between Lake Nona and Winter Garden, feel free to drop a message to me. My contact is in the description below of this video, or book a 30-minute session with me. Either or is fine, and I'll send you everything I have, everything you need to know to make sure you make the best decision for your family. All right? Now, before I give you my final verdict, if you're still on the fence between Lake Nona or Winter Garden for any specific reason, here are all the questions that you need to ask yourself. So pause this video, take a screenshot, I don't care. Just be honest with you, answer those questions, and you're gonna have a better understanding of which place you should go next. Now, my honest verdict, if you're relocating for a healthcare career, or if you are going to have a tech job near Medical City, or if you just want a place that is more polished, that is more master planned, Lake Nona may be the solution for you. Now, if you're planning on having a more outside lifestyle or active lifestyle, or being more family oriented and also in a budget, between those two communities, I would recommend you Winter Garden, because over there you have a sense of you're hanging out with other families and your kids are going to be safe with other kids. There's plenty to do. You have the farmers market, you have Bland Street, and there's a lot to do in the Hamlin area as well. If you're still here with me, that means you're seriously considering Lake Nona or Winter Garden. If you're asking those 5 questions to yourself and still hasn't gotten an answer, that's totally okay. Let's book a 30-minute session. I'll give you all the information you need. I can answer all your questions to make sure you love where you live and to make sure you select the best place for your next chapter in life. All right? So thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Pedro, and I'll see you next time.